February 1996. Just 1 mile from the 94 wreck, another freight train loses its brakes, derails and explodes in the third disaster at the bottom of the El Cajon Pass. But this train is hauling 9 tankers filled with hazardous chemicals, including 158,000 gallons of pesticide. When the train crashes, the whole mess bursts into flames. Like the other engineers, this one had no hint he was headed for trouble. He tested his brakes 3 times before reaching the summit, and everything seemed fine. But as he started down the grade, that status changed. The train sped to more than 60 miles an hour, with the engineer helpless to stop it. The crew jumped from the train, but the engineer stayed with his locomotive, somehow surviving as the train leapt from the tracks and plowed into a ravine. The tankers exploded and burst into flames. Toxic smoke rises above the wreckage. Towns are evacuated and 20 miles of LA freeway are closed. As the fire burns, noxious fumes fill the valley. Just approaching the wreckage is no longer safe. Firefighters have to be treated after exposure to the smoke. The wreckage is enormous. This is the locomotive. By itself, it's as big as a house.
To me, the size of it was what really struck me. Big steel rails that 10 of us probably couldn't lift looked like pretzels, and I know people have described that before, but that's exactly what it looked like, just bent beyond recognition. And these big, huge, multi-ton steel vehicles thrown off of the track, crushed beyond recognition, rolled, smashed, like, you know, just another force of nature had just taken a vengeance on these things.
The engineer was seriously injured. Investigators later determined the cause of the crash again was a kink in the air hose that cut off the train's brakes. This train did have emergency brakes that could have prevented the wreck, but they weren't turned on that morning. Without them, the train was doomed the moment it started down the pass. Within weeks, all 10 of the largest U.S. railroads promised to install emergency brakes on their freight trains and make sure they were working to try to prevent any more runaway trains. So far, no more trains have lost their brakes in the El Cajon Pass, but locals can't stop wondering, have they seen the last runaway train?